There's a few films I'm going to talk about in this video, but first of all, because I only watched this last night and it's a new release from Second Sight Films, is The Nice Guys, director Shane Black's 2016 comedy action thriller. I'm not sure if it's correct to call it a comedy action thriller, but it's just nuts. Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling, the chemistry is perfect, and the young lady who plays Ryan Gosling's daughter in this, Angourie Rice, she adds to the mayhem and is brilliant in her role too. So great fun we had with this last night. I always take notice when Second Sight send out a press release to say a new release is coming, and this one just piqued my interest. I thought, have a look at that, and not having seen it before, knowing that it was a bit of a flop at the box office, an estimated budget of $50 million and took, I believe, $71 million at the worldwide box office. I didn't think this was going to be as good as I thought it was, so I opted for the standard Blu-ray, and now I'm thinking I should have gone for that special Second Sight pack. So a lesson learned here perhaps, but another great release from Second Sight. This one was filmed in a combination of 2.8K and 6K, but only went out to cinemas as a 2K digital intermediate, so perhaps very close to this high definition Blu-ray. However, I can see in this, as usual in here anyway, the colours are not quite right, and on the 4K I think you will get that more filmic looking image due to the exceptional superior colour range of 4K disc, or UHD disc as I should call it. And of course you also get HDR, and in this case, in the case of The Nice Guys, they've done it as also Dolby Vision. So something pretty special here for a lot of people. It harks back to the 80s, 90s action buddy movies. I suppose I could cite a couple here, Lethal Weapon and The Long Kiss Goodnight, both also written by Shane Black. So I think many of us know Shane Black. He was actually talked into appearing as one of the characters in Predator. He was very good in that. He appears in the extras of this. There's a complete commentary with him and his co-writer Anthony Bagorozzi on this. I haven't listened to that, but I watched the extended filmed interview that Second Sight have done with Shane Black, and he's so entertaining. He's lost none of his personality. Still very interesting to listen to. There are other interviews on here. I haven't had a chance to look at them all yet, but I think this is a very good disc from Second Sight Films, and as I say, I should have got that special pack, or at least the UHD disc. It's got a running time of 1 hour and 55 minutes, an aspect ratio of 2.40 to 1 approximately, and comes with Dolby Atmos sound, which is newly done by Second Sight, but I played the original 5.1, and in this case it's DTS 5.1. I thought the sound really did envelop you in the picture. I thought this was entirely suitable, and at times in here the bass nearly knocked you out of your seat. So if you've got anything like a large subwoofer, I think you're going to have a great time with this. Very good image quality, very good sound, and I thought this was a very entertaining film. Some people may not like the humour. There's a bit of adult humour in here, a bit of nudity, but it all seems to suit. The swearing seems to be in good taste, but a 90s action thriller made in 2016. Right, so that brings us on to the main attraction for this review video, Clint Eastwood's 1976 The Outlaw Josey Wales. Westerns were out of favour by 1976, and Clint Eastwood comes along and seemingly reinvents the Western, and it took a few years for Westerns to really start getting off the ground again, but I think you can see the influence of The Outlaw Josey Wales in what came after. Most notably perhaps Clint Eastwood's own Unforgiven, only that was even more violent and hard-hitting than The Outlaw Josey Wales. This has an aspect ratio of 2.40 to 1 approximately. It comes with Dolby Atmos sound, which is impressive, particularly at the start when the horses come riding in. You hear them long before you see them, and that in here was just sensational. It also has, via menu option, the original mono sound. We're told it's the original sound, but I'm not entirely convinced. They sounded quite as tinny as this in cinemas, certainly not in all cinemas, and certainly not in here, when I run a 35mm film. So that wasn't very involving. I decided quickly to listen to the Dolby Atmos track via the THX 5.1 in here, and it was impressive. Now, this is a violent film. It runs for about 2 hours and 16 minutes, and there are quiet periods in it. It's a very interesting film, but violent, and the attempted rapes, it's not one to watch with your children, and that's why it's got the 18 certificate. So as much as I love this film, I wouldn't recommend it for everyone, but what a Western. I think it's one of the best I've seen, and quite lightly pointed the way, I think, for how Native Americans, as they're more often called today, were portrayed in subsequent films, most notably Dances with Wolves. The image quality does lend well to the use of the light and shadow in this, where you've got the shadow across Clint Eastwood's eyes from his cowboy hat. It just works beautifully when he's standing in front of doorways, so you've got a bright light outside, you've got the darkness of the building inside. It's very well photographed and the scenery is beautiful, so there is much to look at in this film as well as to enjoy, even if some of it is quite hard to watch at times, most notably those scenes where the baddies get hold of Sondra Locke. But keep watching, it's not as bad as it seems it's going to be. Just the single UHD disc in this pack, and it does also contain all the special features. A lot of special features. I've seen many of them before, but nonetheless all very enjoyable. Now, after about 7 minutes of enjoying the opening of this, which sets the scene very quickly of what is to come, the opening credits roll, so they're optically inserted and there are plenty of fades from one scene to another within those credits. So of course that's two image elements being merged onto one. So 2 bits of 35mm film being filmed by a third, so you've obviously got a bit of image degradation there. After about 3.5 minutes, those titles and optical fades all complete and you're back to the full image quality of the film as a whole. So that's just something to bear in mind near the opening. By the time the credits roll, I think you're already engrossed in the film and you don't really notice there's much of an image degradation at that point. But overall, a great 4K UHD home video disc release. And I know a lot of people have been asking me to review the Clint Eastwoods, most notably Dirty Harry. I've got that film on Blu-ray, I've watched it many times and I don't feel ready to watch it just yet, but seeing the image quality on here and enjoying this film as much as I did is a bit of an incentive to get some more of those recent 4K UHD Clint Eastwoods. I think it's Pale Rider, Dirty Harry, and was there one other? You'll have to tell me in the comments, but I think that's a great release for Clint Eastwood's 1976 Western, and perhaps where I've been talking about this influencing what came after, one other I watched recently which I think may have influenced Clint Eastwood's take on the Western. This is Sam Peckinpah's 1962 Ride the High Country. Now this was one that I just saw on the desk when I was leaving HMV, paying for the Outlaw Josey Wales and 1 or 2 others, and I thought, this is a Sam Peckinpah. I've been reading about this in Cinema Retro magazine. Mike Siegel is the contributor there that is always writing about Sam Peckinpah, and I believe he's actually made many of the documentaries on the recent disc releases. Don't think any of his are on here. There's just the one real extra in the trailer, I think. But this is a Blu-ray disc in the HMV Premium Collection, and it comes with 4 postcards and a poster. And this makes it all the more special. It's not the best image quality you're going to see, but it is very good, and the sound on here, mono, is also very good. So you're completely enveloped in what's happening on the screen, and it's a very good package for just £7.49. Hopefully it's still in the sale at HMV, and you get all this with it. So a great film, and has got similarities to the Outlaw Josey Wales, and I was struck by that when I watched Josey Wales, because I felt like this is similar to Ride the High Country. and I think this was a very influential Western that many people who were directors or became directors squirreled away in their heads and thought, if I ever make a Western, this is what I want it to be like. And by the time Josey Wales was done, of course in 1969 Sam Peckinpah had made The Wild Bunch, which was his particularly violent take on a Western. There's some violence in this, that's for sure. There's some near raping again, so it's got all those elements. It's not one you could ideally watch with young children, but this one is just a certificate 12, so a bit more acceptable than Josey Wales and The Wild Bunch, I dare say. But I thought I'd mention that. I wasn't going to do a full review of it, but another one, 2.40 to 1 aspect ratio, so all three of these films are the scope ratio. It's got mono sound, very good image quality, not the best you're going to see, and the opening titles of this, the opening sequence, has got slightly reduced image frame area. So in here I was a bit confused. I had to bring the masking in. Then after the credits I could see it was all overflowing, so I then had to put the masking back out. So don't be caught out by that. If you've got a home cinema like mine with motorized masking that you can bring in, just stick with it. It will go out to the full 2.40 to 1 aspect ratio full frame. So a very good release and very good value. I think these have been three great films that we watched in here recently, among a few others. So I'll leave a link in the description area to where you can get the special pack for the Nice Guys. I think it's $44.99, and with that you get, I think, 9 postcards, character postcards, which are done in the same style as this. You get a digipack with the Blu-ray and the 4K UHD disc, and you get, I've forgotten how many pages it is, but more than 100-page hardback book. So, and with a rigid case that Second Sight always do. I think if you like this film or you're interested in it, have a look at that. I don't think many people will be too disappointed with it. The standard 4K disc is $24.99, and this one $17.99. So that's the one I went for. Bit of a mistake there, but Outlaw Josey Wales, I think that's $19.99 in most places now, so £20. This one's $7.49. Three great films. I think most of you will enjoy them all. Right, that brings me to the end. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, perhaps subscribe if you haven't already. And until the next one, bye-bye for now.